Yes, welcome back, guys. And in this video, we would be talking about statements. Yes, I know a lot of people would have, when we do get into this geeky programming stuff, take note, you've started. You started from the moment we started installing. Do you understand? And I want to be as simple or as basic as possible, so everybody is going to understand what I'm saying all through. So in this video, I'll be talking about what statements are. Now, I understand all of this stuff that we are talking about. A lot of people might find issue or might find it difficult understanding it, right? So what I would just want you to do is every time you're having issue understanding this concept, kindly think of them in English, right? I'll define what statements are for you in Python. But before that, our normal routine, let's try to create a file and let's call it statements.py. Great. I we just created a file statements.py. So good, what do we want to do? What are statements? Let me define what statements are. Now, statements are what a set of what instructions that the Python interpreter can understand. Blah 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 blah. So many grammars, right? So many grammar, yeah. Now, let me explain to you better. Now, for those that go to church or mosque or wherever it is, yeah, or even shrine, you always say we have people they call interpreters, right? You would know a lot of people they call interpreters. Now, when the what's the name? Um, when the pastor says, I want everybody to stand up and raise their hands up, the interpreter might interpret it to Igbo. Or like everybody go did the normal okay, right? Or when the imam says something, right? There is someone that interprets what the imam or what um, anybody has said. Does it make sense? Now, these guys are called interpreters. Now, you know when I said Python interpreter, right? Now, Python is a language, English is a language, right? Now, the pastor spoke in English, right? You, as the programmer, you speak in Python. Then somebody interprets the English to the Yoruba audience, right? The Python interpreter interprets your Python language to what? To the computer. Remember that the computer does not understand anything. What does he understand? It understands what? Binary. One and what? Zeros. The Python interpreter is the only one that understands what you are speaking and what the computer understands or what the computer is speaking. So it's sitting at the middle to interpret human readable language towards computer or machine language. Does it make sense? Does that really make sense? Now, what are statements again? Statements are what set of instructions that what the Python interpreter can understand. Now, because the interpreter in church does not understand anything other than English and Yoruba, when you speak French to that interpreter, can the interpreter interpret it to what? To Yoruba? No. You've what? Broken the rule. In Python, in any language, do you understand? Every language has statements. Statements are what they understand. If I say stand, stand, it interprets stand to what? To any form of language, right? Does it make sense? Those are what? Interpreters. Sorry. Those are statements. Does it make sense? Now, I want to explain. We have three types of statements. Let me start with that. The first set of statements we have as what? Execution statements. Execution. I want you to do this. Do that. I want you to do 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2, I can see what? X is equals to what? 2 plus 2, right? The next type of statements would have, we call them control statements or control flow statements. Control flow statements are what we would get soon to control flow statements. I just want us to be very patient. I know a lot of people will not understand what control flow statements are, but I just want you to know that we have types of statements. The control flow statements include what? The if statements, right? The for loop and the what? What? While loop. We'll get there, don't worry. Blah, 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 blah. I know I just said a lot of jargons. Just calm down. We are going to get there very, very soon. Again, I said we have, what's the first statement? Tell me. I said we have what? We have what? Executive statements. Someone say executive statements. No. We have what? Execution statements. Execution what? Statements. We have what? Control controller statement, right? Oh, okay. No, thank you. Control statement. And finally, we have what? Declaration statements. Declaration statements. What are declaration statements? Now, let me give examples of each of them so we would understand. X is equals to what? 2 plus 2. Control statements, I said we have what? If statements. We have what? For statements. My writing is so bad. And we have what? While what? Statements. Now, for the declaration statements, what are declaration statements? Declaration statements helps you to, for example, you want to declare a variable, you want to initialize a variable. What we have been doing so far, n is equals to what? I just want to declare something. Is equals to what? Image declaration statements. You understand? This is basically all we need to know about statement. Now, if you look at what we've been doing so far from variables to this point, you'll see everything is kind of linked. Everything is kind of what? It's kind of linked. I understand this could be very difficult for beginners. This is not a competition, take note of that. I want you to go back to previous videos and watch them again if you don't understand what has just happened here. Or you were rushing the previous video. Go back to it and do justice to it. You have enough time on your hand. Do you understand? I hope to see you in the next videos. In the next video, for those that love mathematics and even those that don't love mathematics, I'm going to show you or make you like mathematics to an extent because we'll be doing something very interesting with Python. We will be doing operations in Pythons. And in operations, you'll be seeing a lot of what? Mathematics. I know some people don't like mathematics. I don't like mathematics either. But I will be your best mathematics teacher after that video. Thank you.